Welcome to I Finance Mortgage. I have the pleasure of speaking with Lina Ariza today. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Tiffany. Glad to be here. Thank you.
I know. And her and her husband, Art Ariza, they own CBM Real Estate. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course.
I just want to start off. Can you tell us about your brokerage, what led you into real estate, and how long that you've been in real estate?
Absolutely, Tiffany. I'm going on my 24th year in
Wow.
real estate. I'm a real estate broker and owner to CBM Real Estate. Excuse me.
Wow.
I'm broker owner to CBM Real Estate, and I think originally when I started the business, I wanted to build a company. I came from old-fashioned roots. My mom was in banking for many, many years, and the banking industry at that time was very old-fashioned. You could walk into a bank, establish a relationship with your teller, and that's what I wanted it to be, more about relationship-driven. We're very big on our professionalism, our integrity, our honesty, and that's what we stand for. And when we meet any client, whether we're representing them as a buyer or seller, to us, it's all about building that relationship. I think deep down, people like to do business with people they know and they like, and that establishes the trust.
I love that. And just to have that driving to see how successful you've come, and I feel like that really is the key to success. Building those relationships, and wow, what an accomplishment for over 24 years.
Absolutely. I think that attributes to it speaks volumes with our clients. We definitely want to connect with our clients, and I believe that the transaction, and I tell my clients this all the time, our relationship with you means the world, and our relationship begins with you, not just throughout the process of your transaction, but when it closes. That's when our relationship will truly grow. We want to be with you for generations to come.
And just keep, yes. And that's how I feel, is especially this year, more in the beginning, building my business is all relationship driven.
Absolutely.
Like that really is. And as you know, as we get older, and I feel like I've just really come to that point too, that is what matters.
I think it adds value to any transaction, especially in our industry, pretty much in any industry, but specifically real estate, I think, because we never want to commoditize our business. Our consumers are doing that for us, especially with rates. They'll shop us for a nickel when it comes to pricing a home. I think we need to be very, very transparent and be able to come across and be honest with our clients, and that establishes the trust.
And give them that friendship as well going through, because it's such a process. Sure, you can go and just work with anybody, but it's not just a it's not just a one-time transaction. It could be a month, it could be a couple of weeks, it could be a couple of months. I always found that or even to my clients, realtor partners, or when I'm talking to them, make sure that you pick your team, especially in this market. Don't just go online. Just make sure, look at, maybe if you get them from a friend, or if you've already picked your lender, then see which realtor will fit me, and to really get that team that's going to go above and beyond.
That's an excellent point. And that's when my clients come in, it's important for us to guide them in picking their team. And I tell them there's three important people in this transaction, and it's important that we keep our relationships close. For that reason, our communication close. And that's going to be pick a good lender. And that's going to be you as well, the client, and if there's forms that we need, to educate them, let them know why we need this form, how important it is. Set that expectation. And third, of course, is your realtor, and pick the right real estate firm. They owe it. There's so many times that I've come across clients walking into an open house just this past weekend. Where's your realtor? It's a family friend. I said, how long have you been looking for your home? Well, for a few months now. Have you been, why isn't your realtor
what's
here?
What's going on?
I developed that a little more. Where is your realtor? And they'll tell me, my realtor just sends us listings. He tells us, go look at the open house, and if you find one you like, let me know. And I think I always when they leave, I always tell her, how can a realtor do that?
It's just very hands off.
It's very, and even worse, how can a buyer think that that's okay? It's not. It's not. It's you deserve to have an agent with you to offer that professionalism, to walk you. Even though you think you can do it, you need a professional realtor there to guide you every step of the way.
I agree. And I love that that's what you guys are all about, because I'm the same way with mine. I do not mind holding your hand. I'd rather you, any question, I don't care what time, just let me know. I'd rather just ease the mind or answer the question. Yep. And because there's a lot of media right now, there's a lot going on, and they don't need to do it alone.
Absolutely. And it's scary. It's scary for a first-time home buyer or for a seasoned home buyer or a seasoned seller. Art loves telling this story also about a good client of ours that we were house shopping, and he said, "I'm sorry, Lina, I'm asking a lot of questions." And I said, "Absolutely not." I said, "You ask as many questions as you want. That's what we're here for. I want to educate you. I want to educate you through this journey of home buying, and you ask as many questions as you want, because in the end, when the transaction closes, you're going to be here with your home. I want it to be a happy journey, an educational journey, and I want you to build many memories in your home and to be with us. Use us as a resource." And Art said that once we talked a little bit with our client, and I explained that to him. I eased him, and you could see his shoulders just drop, just going away. And
all the weight just leaving. Yeah. I know, and
it just goes back to building that relationship. Yeah. You want to build that relationship, that trust, and to let them know. You can't do that by handing clients, go look at these properties. You can't build that, and clients deserve more, and they need to know that they deserve more, and that's what we show them. And I think that's what sets us apart too.
That's amazing, and I love that it's just more client base, and it really shows that to have your career for 24 years and over all the different markets, it definitely shows a lot. And then let's go into, so as we can see how the market has definitely been shifting through the past couple of years, definitely a lot of clients, either buyers or sellers, maybe not so quick to move. It could be a little scary. What pivots and adjustments have you made during this challenging market to attract or just educate new buyers and or sellers?
I think what a lot of realtors, especially longtime realtors, need to do, and something that we've done, is learning to pivot, especially in a changing market, an ever so changing market. 2024 is a transformative year in many, many ways, with lots of different cases, lots of different legislation that's coming down. It's important for us to be educated, know the changes that are happening and how they're going to affect you in the industry as well as your clients. I think it's important to learn to know that clients are out there. Social media is out there. It plays a big role in what they're seeing. They know about interest rates. They're a little savvy now, these buyers and our sellers. It's important to add value to them. And a lot of adding that value is to learn to have conversations with clients. Learn to manage those conversations and have difficult conversations, whether it's talking to clients and setting those expectations on the changing market. Buyer, we're coming in, yes, it's a seller's market. Yes, interest rates are a little bit high. Is it a good time to purchase? Is it not a good time to purchase? Have those conversations with them on why it is and why you feel it is. Are they ready for it? It's important just to, like I said, have those conversations and set those expectations with your clients.
And that's so good. Just to even have them really communicate, because if you just let them tell you like what they've seen around, their concerns, you can kind of get them right away, and then ease, like you said earlier, all the stress just goes away.
Absolutely. I think that's important because it takes away clients, if you don't set that expectation, you're setting them up for disappointment. If they're walking into a transaction with their hopes high, and you want to keep them high at that level, but you also want to let them know, if you don't get this, that's okay. It's a challenging market. Be a little flexible, but we'll find you your home. and we're not going to give
the
up
offers.
with
There's multiple offer situations.
If there's multiple offer situations, we can talk about how many days has this home been on the market.
Yep.
I'll guide them as to how we're preparing the offer. What I recommend, ultimately it is their decision, but with the expertise and having maybe a conversation with the agent, and it's all comes down to the relationship, building relationships with even your peers. And I think that speaks volumes, because you're able to then kind of just gather some information and offer the right guidance to your client. This is what I suggest. And if this does fall through, then let's go look at another home. But it's learning to control those, talking to them, and really managing their emotions. There's so many emotions that go along when it comes to home buying, and it's learning to manage through that.
That's amazing. And I do focus a lot, like earlier you mentioned, with just educating pivot. Have you put together for your team, have you guys been doing any trainings, or like just kind of keeping up? How do you keep up with the market?
I think it's important to have team meetings to, you want to take a look at where the market's going. Mm-hmm. Every market is different, especially this year, 2024. It's important to educate them and stay involved with your local associations, with your educational series, to build the rapport with your team. And I've always felt with my team, it's important to build little leaders. I want them to learn to be out there. They're representing us. They're representing the company. They need to represent us as professionalism, with their integrity, and with their experience. I want them to lead their client, and I want their client to have that trust with them.
I feel like it sounds like you lead more with motivation, and I feel like because there are different types of leadership, I've been lucky to have worked at places where I had amazing managers, but they really kind of set those expectations with me and taught me it wasn't just about being a loan officer or what have you. They would teach you, look, when this happens in the market, is it out of your control? You got to let it go. You cannot leave your other clients behind. Do whatever you can. I think that it sounds like that's.
I think it's important to grow from that, and I think it's important for agents to grow together through that industry, or through the industry, because it is a tough market, and you want to add value not just to your transaction but to your team as well. Yeah. And in order to add value to them, you want them to grow, to feel that they're growing in their education. As a sales team, that's very important.
That is great. Right now, what we have been seeing is the top economists earlier they pitched maybe 6 rate cuts. I think now we're moving around 3 rate cuts. What advice to potential buyers? I think that's the top question right now. Is now the time to buy? Should they wait until they drop? Which now it's kind of sounding, I think before it was March, and now it's getting closer to July. And we still don't know what that drop would be. What is your advice I'm sure you've heard that from buyers and sellers. We can kind of break that down.
I've heard that. That's one of my questions that we get a lot from our buyers. Is now a good time? We don't know if it's a good time. I always tell them you're out here looking at homes. The right time is when you feel it's the right time. Obviously, you're out here looking at homes for a reason. Mm-hmm. If you're qualified for the home, and you're out here motivated to find a home, and you qualify for it, now is the right time. It's not. I try to talk to our clients where, especially with rates, interest rates are relative, and if that's what's holding you back, if you're ready to purchase, then now is the right time. We tell our clients, it's what is that saying? Marry the house, date the rate. Goes back to that, where the rates, you get into your home and rates go up, they go down. When rates start to come down, and yes, everyone's staying abreast to the rates and what's happening with them. I think when rates do go down, what we advise our clients is take advantage at that time. You can always refinance. talk to your loan officer, refinance, tailor
Yep.
the loan if it's for 25 years, 28 years, but you can then talk to them about maybe the performance of your loan. You want, I guess what a lot of our clients don't realize, they think it's just a 30-year loan that's available. Talk to your loan officer when the right time comes, sit down with them and have a conversation with them. This is what we want. This is what we're looking at. Yes, the interest rate's important to us. So have a conversation with them and see if that's the right time to refinance. But at least you're in your home. When rates do drop, you're going to have an influx of buyers out there, and the competition and the appreciation. You know,
I know, that's a big one.
The right time to purchase is now. If you're asking yourself that question, take a look at your finances, get in front of a loan officer. The right time is now.
That's what I've been explaining it. I'm more of like a goal setter. I'm like, if it's, when they ask me, is this your goal? Then the right time is now, yesterday. If you're going to set up a goal, call me and then we'll put together the roadmap.
Yes.
And get you don't know even how long that road is going to be, if it's now, if you're ready to go, but definitely just about starting. And I like to tie it to the goal.
That's a really good point.
Focus
because
on the goal.
That's a good point, because we have clients coming in and talking to us. There are different stages. They may be in the beginning process. They haven't even, it started out with just a dream. Or maybe they've already have talked to a loan officer and it starts off, well, then what is your goal? Mark it on the calendar. I give myself a year. And I always advise my clients, there's definitely 4 things you want to do. Number 1, check your finances. Find out where you stand. Check your credit report. You want to know where your credit score is. The second thing is save. Start preparing yourself. If you give yourself 6 months, a year, save. And that ties into just their goal. Third, get pre-approved. Definitely important. Get pre-approved so you know what your purchasing power is. The sellers, when you start preparing offers, you don't just fall in love with a house and say, okay, now I need to get pre-approved. And you just, it's so important to get pre-approved so sellers know you're serious. Do that first. And then, yes, of course, the fourth is finding the right real estate firm, the right realtor.
And I think that is, we did kind of speak about it earlier, but building that team. And I feel like that is more, it's being more highlighted now how important it is because of this tougher market that we've been in. But absolutely, make sure that you get your lender, your realtor that are fully available, and there might be some part-times, both sides. And really make sure that the team that you're working with has, like, to me, I always say a goal of mine is to get you to reach your goal. It's my own goal. I want the best for them as well.
Yes, and it's important to make sure your team, make sure you have a realtor and a loan officer that knows how to communicate. On the same page with you, and on the same page with each other. Because yes, it's going to take a team of professionals, and that's including your loan officer, your realtor. Yep. And then, of course, the buyer.
Group text messages. Yes. Holds everybody accountable.
Yeah, and that's a good word, accountability. And that's one word that I'm really big on when it comes to, as a realtor. Very important to be accountable. Yep. And as a loan officer, too, I'm sure.
Once everyone's on the same page. Yes. I put everybody, that's going to be our home base. We can still, of course, there's some things that we don't, like, we'll have a private conversation, not with the realtor or vice versa. But then we always have that. I like to do it in the beginning once we know, like, hey, we're shopping now. But then we have that home base. Yes. Now, when the offer's being talked about and the realtors that I work with, it's not just us anymore too. Now with this market, like the lender, we need to be calling the listing agent. I need to know exactly when you send in that offer. Send me their number. I'm going to give them an hour to read it, and then I'm calling them.
I love that, because that's exactly what I do. I'm constantly.
I was like, this is it's a village here. We're a whole team effort. Everyone's on the same page. I already know before I call the listing agent. I know on behalf of my client, but also the realtor, me and the realtor, we've already discussed the contingency dates. We're both on the same page. When can you actually close this? What can we worked out that offer together. And I think that's really important.
It is so important.
I think that a lot don't really focus on the behind the scenes, but especially even in the beginning when I started, that communication wasn't there.
It's so important to have that there, because
or you just get a random contract in your email box,
or
why was I not in on that? I was like, I would have
from the beginning of the transaction to the end. You're going to have hiccups that come along the way, and you want to make sure for that reason that the realtor and the loan officer are communicating with each other to address those hiccups, to come up with solutions for those, to make the transaction. The goal is to get from the start of escrow to the end of escrow and delivering those keys.
7 days, no. 10 days. No.
But with a smooth escrow. And if something comes along the way, you want to be able to discuss that with your realtor, with your loan officer, to come up with solutions.
Those are my favorite types of. And I feel like even if it's, and as you like build those relationships, even if you're a little busy, what I have found throughout the years, just send a quick text. Hey, no update today. Yeah. If we're waiting on something, just like it just makes such a difference.
It makes a big difference. Yeah. And it goes back to just that relationship is just have conversations, have conversations with your clients. Yep. With open communication, be as transparent as you can. Your clients will find true value in that, and you'll put them at ease.
I love that, the adding value. I think that's just any time that even like working with realtors, I feel like that's always at the top of my list, or for clients. Just make sure that we're all adding value.
Yep.
Let's go into, in your words, or just explain what a buyer's market is. Can they get, I have been seeing around, or some realtors that say that maybe this first quarter is going to be a little more like a buyer's market. Do you agree with that? In your opinion, is there some more room for them to get negotiations just because those?
I think it depends. I never like those term buyer's market and seller's market, especially right now, because it's just tough to call that. Because the inventory, as you know, is very low, there are going to be some instances where a home has been on the market for a while, and that's, I think, where the buyer is going to have a little bit more leeway in negotiating. And I think, guided with their agent, they can maybe in concessions, or maybe in the price, but I think there's going to be a little bit more negotiating room with those types of clients. And that goes with maybe setting your expectations, whether you're representing, maybe that home was listed a little bit higher than it should have been, and the market will indicate to you. The market will tell you, yes, it was listed too high. Here's the offer that we're presenting. And I think sellers need to kind of see that and learn how to read those offers. And I think, guided with their agent, is these are the kind of offers we're getting. Perhaps your home is listed a little high, but that's when it becomes an advantage, yes, to the buyers in a case like that. With inventory still kind of low, the sellers do still have the upper hand, yes. And the market will shift. That's the beautiful thing about this industry, and it will. But when that happens, we just don't know.
I know. We wish we had the crystal ball. We don't. And then let's see into what are some things. How have you been preparing your clients for this market? Just setting them up for success with those new rate cuts coming.
I think with when it comes to buyers, we explain to the buyers to be patient. Be patient, but be active. We get out there and let's look at some homes. When it comes to sellers, I think it's important to let them know. A lot of sellers think that, yes, we have the upper hand, so we're going to price it at the highest that we can. And I tell them, no, you always want to be the one leading the competitive pricing when it comes to selling. You never want to be that seller that has to reduce the price because it was overpriced.
Because it shows too, right? When they go, it will show that on each like site too, right? When it gets dropped.
Yes, it'll
Yes,
show
like
price
Zillow,
change.
or
Yes.
they will have it. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I kind of seen one, but will it show like multiple, or will it only
I know
show
it
one?
will. I know a realtor can see it on our end on MLS, but a realtor is the one if we see that we're guiding our client, and we just you just don't want to be in that position. Unfortunately, there are instances that you will have to reduce that price, but it's just it's being strategic, whether you're representing a buyer in guiding them to the right offer and a strong offer at the same time. And then on a seller side, yes, it's a delicate balance, because you do want to get them the best and the highest price and offer, but you want their home to be, you want to market their home at the right price too. And I think a good competitive price is what every seller should be aiming for.
That's great. And you do work with buyers and sellers.
Yes,
So I feel like that is even better, and where you can balance both sides. Like how you just said, for the sellers, you still want to make sure that that's almost like, because you've been on the buyer side so much as well. So I feel like you are probably going to get that pricing more accurate and more just for both sides.
I think that comes from just the experience, yes, and guiding your client, whether you're representing a buyer or the seller, because ultimately you want to present an offer that's fair and that's strong and fair, and still looking after your client, whether you're representing a buyer or seller. On the seller side, you want to explain to your seller, when it comes down to negotiations, that you want to also negotiate for those repairs or price that is fair to both sides. Ultimately, it's just coming up with a mutual agreement so that we can lead to a successful closing.
Wow. And so my final question would be, since you have been in the industry leading your brokerage, CBM, and for 24 years, you have weathered and been through multiple different markets. Just what advice can you give either to agents or buyers, or just kind of in life, being able to go through those experience and hold such a wonderful career, great success, an amazing team? Just some advice on to how to get there. And
I think set goals. Setting goals and writing your goals down. It brings them to life. Whether you're a buyer looking to purchase, set that goal, mark it down. This is where I want to be in a position to purchase at this time. Setting goals and educating yourself. I think it's important to educate yourself so you know where you stand. Nothing is ever impossible, but you need to know where you're at so you know where you're going. And I think it's important in us as realtors in setting those goals, and to also offer that to our buyers, to let them know and to guide them. We can get you there. It's going to take all of us, but we'll get you there. And I look forward to this 2024. It's a yes. I've been in the industry long enough to see all the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows.
But this is it. Huh?
But I think this is going to be a great year for buyers and sellers.
That is amazing. I just love I'm the same way with the goals. Set the goal. You have to have your roadmap. I do that in my personal life, and now I'm starting to also, like you said, present it that way to my clients, where it's like, don't think of it, because it's overwhelming if you look at it maybe all together. Let's break it down. Where do you want to be when? And then we're going to slowly start hitting the other milestones.
And don't look at the obstacles. Well, my credit's bad. Well, I have a lot of debt I need to pay off.
I got tools.
Yes. Well, how can we make your credit stronger? How can we get your credit score up there? How can we add more to your savings account? There's solutions. There's solutions to everything. But have a goal and have an action plan. And just pick the right team. I can't stress how important that is. Pick a strong lender and pick the right real estate firm to represent you, because you deserve that. I think all buyers deserve that. All sellers deserve that. Someone who can really be there with them every step of the way.
Well, that is it for today. Lina, I want to thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Here at iFinance Mortgage. And did you have a good time?
Thank you, Tiffany. Yes, I had a wonderful time. Thank you for inviting us. It was such a pleasure. Thank you.